Overlord, the multiverse greater than Chapter 6, Vampire. Chapter 6, Vampire. Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 3K 11109. In the year 2126, the term DMMORPG, short for Dive Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game, has become commonplace. These cutting-edge games revolutionize the gaming experience by allowing players to immerse themselves in virtual worlds using specialized consoles connected directly to their brains. This groundbreaking technology, known as the Neural Nano Interface, seamlessly blends cyber and nanotechnology to create an unprecedented level of immersion and interaction. Originally developed by the military in 2080 for purposes such as training soldiers and simulating combat scenarios, the Neural Nano Interface quickly found its way into the hands of cooperatives, paving the way for a new era of virtual reality gaming. With the ability to enter virtual worlds and interact with them as if they were real, DMMORPGs offer players unparalleled freedom and excitement. I glanced at the gaming console connected to my brain with a mix of anticipation and sheer disbelief. I mean, who would have thought that one day I'd be gaming with my mind? It's like something straight out of a sci-fi flick, but here I am, about to dive headfirst into a virtual world like a champ. With a deep breath, I activated the console and felt a weird tingling sensation. Not gonna lie, it was kinda like that feeling you get when you sit on your leg for too long. But hey, no pain, no gain, right? Next thing I know, I'm standing in the middle of this virtual wonderland, surrounded by sights and sounds that make Disneyland look like a kiddie park. Welcome to the world of YGGDRASILL, player. As the digital voice echoed in my mind, I couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement coursing through my veins. The world tree Yggdrasil is dying. The world tree, which had countless leaves, is dying because of a gigantic monster who appeared and is devouring these leaves, causing them to fall one after the other, until only 9 were left. These 9 leaves were the previous incarnations of the 9 worlds. The leaf-eating monster has now continued its advance to the point where it seeks to devour the remaining world, which are Asgard, Alfheim, Vanaheim, Nidavellir, Midgard, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Helheim, and Muspelheim. We want you young heroes to stop the advance of the devourer and protect your world from this calamity. For this, you have to choose a race. After the brief introduction was over, a blue screen appears in front of me. The blue screen in front of me offers 3 distinct paths: humanoid, demi-human, and heteromorphic. As I stare at the glowing blue screen, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and indecision. 3 paths lie before me: humanoid, demi-human, and heteromorphic. It's like choosing between pizza toppings. Each one sounds tempting, but I know I can only pick one. Humanoid, the safe choice, like ordering plain cheese pizza. Sure, it's familiar and reliable, but where's the adventure in that? Plus, who wants to be just another boring human when you can be something way cooler? Demi-human sounds intriguing. It's like the exotic toppings section: goblins, ogres, centaurs, oh my. Talk about diversity. But with great diversity comes great responsibility, or at least that's what Uncle Ben would say if he were here. And then there's heteromorphic, the wild card, the spicy jalapeno of choices. Sure, it might come with some limitations, but who wouldn't want to be a badass angel or a fearsome dragon? Plus, think of all the cool Halloween costumes I could rock. After much deliberation and maybe a coin flip or two, I make my decision. Hey, Death, can you tell me which race I need to choose? I ask, turning to the enigmatic figure, who is watching over me. While Death can't come to this world without destroying, she can communicate with me through the multiverse system, which I named as its is not fully operational. Death chuckles softly, her eyes twinkling with amusement. Ah, the age-old question, she replies, her voice carrying a hint of mystery. I say choose something on undead side. I tilt my head, intrigued by Death's suggestion. Can you tell me the reason? Not that I'm questioning you or anything, I'm just curious, I ask, a playful grin quirking up one corner of my lips. Well, I am Death, so I've got a soft spot for things that defy death, she says with a chuckle, her eyes sparkling mischievously. With a smirk, I couldn't resist the logic in Death's recommendation. Fair enough, I quip, giving a nod of agreement. Might as well go with the undead option. Can't argue with advice from Death, can you? I make my choice, and with a wink, I turn back to the blue screen. Scrolling through the options, I find the section for the heteromorphic race. A long list of undead races pops up, more than I ever imagined. Classic skeletons, zombies, and then the fancier stuff like vampires, liches, and wraiths. Each one comes with its own bag of tricks, strengths, and weaknesses. I scratch my head, overwhelmed by the choices. Well, I mutter to myself, scanning through the list. Looks like Death wasn't kidding about the undead side being a graveyard of options. After a bit of pondering and a few chuckles at some of the weirder picks, I settle on a race that speaks to me, the vampires. Seems like the right vibe, I chuckle. Always fancied myself an immortal with a killer fashion sense. With a nod of satisfaction, I confirm my choice, watching as the screen flashes before returning to the main menu. Excitement pulses through me as I realize my journey in the world of YGGDRASILL is about to kick off. Can't wait to sink my teeth into whatever chaos awaits me as a blood-sucking vampire. With a dark chuckle, I take a deep breath, ready to dive headfirst into whatever twisted adventures await. Because when Death herself gives you a nod, you know it's gonna be one hell of a ride. Let the bloodletting begin. Tilde. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment. Chapter 7, Helheim. Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 3.1K 6100. As the screen flickers, a grotesque image materializes before me. It's like staring into the face of a nightmare, a creature that seems to have taken fashion tips from a bat and a gargoyle, with teeth sharp enough to make dentists jealous. 5 fingers on each hand, each one ending in a claw that looks like it could double as a can opener, complete the ghastly picture. I can't help but let out a nervous laugh. Well, aren't you a looker? I quip, trying to mask my discomfort with a dose of dark humor. If I wanted to scare children, I'd hang your portrait in my living room. Despite the initial shock, I remind myself that appearances can be deceiving. After all, with the right skills and abilities, I can probably make this monstrosity look like a runway model. It's just a matter of embracing my inner Picasso and getting creative with the character customization options. With a deep breath, I dive into the customization menu, ready to work some magic, or at least try not to vomit at the sight of my own character. With each adjustment, I can't help but crack jokes to lighten the mood. Let's see if I can turn this creature feature into a creature. Less feature, I mumble to myself, trying to inject some levity into the situation. As I tweak and fine-tune the details, I can't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Who knew that playing God with a virtual avatar could be so entertaining? Ah, the joys of digital plastic surgery, I quip, adjusting the vampire's facial features with the finesse of a seasoned cosmetic surgeon. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of pixelated plastic surgery, I step back to admire my handiwork. The once terrifying creature now looks, well, slightly less terrifying. Not bad for a first attempt, I say with a smirk, marveling at my ability to turn a nightmare into something vaguely resembling a character from a B-list horror movie. While I would like to be a immortal with a killer fashion sense, but if I want to make this guy a better looking than character from a B-list horror movie, I need a creator tool. But I don't have that yet, so I can't. After putting the finishing touches on my vampire avatar, I hit the finish button, ready to rock and roll in this virtual world. As my creation transformed into something only a mother could love, I couldn't help but snicker at the monstrosity I had brought into existence. It looked like it crawled straight out of a nightmare, or a particularly bad horror flick. Then, like a sarcastic tour guide, the game system chimed in again. You have chosen a race from YGGDRASILL for your adventures. Now, please choose a world for you to start your journey. You have 9 worlds to choose from: Asgard, Alfheim, Vanaheim, Nidavellir, Midgard, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Helheim, and Muspelheim. With my less than human appearance, blending in among regular folks was about as likely as a zombie passing for a ballet dancer. So, I narrowed down my options to the realms where my unique charm might not raise too many eyebrows: Niflheim, Helheim, or Muspelheim. Now, Niflheim sounded like a frosty nightmare, ruled by ice giants and probably not the best place for a creature who's already cold enough. And Muspelheim, well, let's just say I didn't fancy becoming a crispy critter in a land of fire giants. So, that left Helheim, the land of the dead, ruled by the undead. Seemed like the perfect fit for a creature like me. I mean, where else could a fledgling vampire feel more at home than in a world teeming with zombies, ghouls, and all things that go bump in the night? It was like being invited to a party where everyone's dead on the inside, literally. And it's place where the great tomb of Nazareth is found. So, with a nonchalant shrug and a casual flick of my undead locks, I confirmed my choice. Helheim it is, I muttered to myself, trying to sound as suave and mysterious as possible, despite knowing I looked more like an extra from a B-movie horror flick. As I stood there, waiting for the next step in this virtual adventure, a circle appeared beneath my feet, engulfing me in a flurry of pixelated particles. Before I knew it, my virtual body began to fade away, leaving me in darkness once again. Just when I thought things couldn't get any weirder, a small screen materialized in front of me, displaying a detailed map of Helheim. With a grin, I read the text that appeared above the screen: choose your desired hunting area. Oh, the possibilities. Should I go for the classic graveyard vibe, or perhaps venture into the depths of a haunted forest? Decisions. I decided to take a walk on the wild side and spawn at the very bottom of the map, right at the edge of Helheim. In YGGDRASILL, the deeper you venture into the heart of the map, the more treacherous it becomes. Monsters lurk in the shadows, and the terrain itself seems to conspire against you. And as I was level 0, I decided to start from the edge of the map. I hit the confirm button as the game system processed my decision. I couldn't help but feel a twinge of excitement mixed with a healthy dose of dread. I mean, sure, exploring a world of the undead sounded like a thrilling adventure, but let's not forget that these were the same creatures who'd probably snack on my brains given half the chance. But hey, who needs brains when you've got bravado, right? With death by my side and the promise of untold riches and unimaginable power awaiting me, I took a deep breath and stepped forward into the darkness of Helheim, ready to face whatever twisted horrors this cursed realm had in store. Tilde. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment. Greater than Overlord, the multiverse greater than Chapter 8, First Blood. Chapter 8, First Blood. Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 2.5K 11103. As I pressed the confirm button, everything around me shifted, and in the blink of an eye, I found myself standing knee-deep in murky swamp water. Ah, the sweet smell of adventure. And let me tell you, folks, Helheim was like walking into a horror movie set on steroids. The air was thick with an eerie chill, and the ground felt like it was made of bones, literally. But despite the spine-tingling atmosphere, I couldn't help but feel a rush of adrenaline coursing through my undead veins. But just as I was getting my bearings in this soggy new environment, a notification popped up before me, demanding a name worthy of a legend. For every legend, a name must be chosen. Please enter your name, one that will echo through the ages and be remembered by the people of YGGDRASILL. No pressure or anything, right? Time to come up with a moniker that strikes fear into the hearts of my enemies. Or at least makes them chuckle. I pondered for a moment, then with a grin, I typed in my chosen name. Alexander Cedrictus von Mortis. Because why settle for just one spooky title when you can have them all? Now, let's see those monsters try to mess with the count. So how is the name, Death? As I eagerly awaited Death's response, the air around me seemed to grow even colder, if that was even possible in this bone-chilling swamp. Moments passed like molasses as I waited with bated breath for her verdict. Finally, Death's voice echoed in my mind, her tone tinged with amusement. A bit dramatic, don't you think? She remarked, her laughter dancing on the edge of my consciousness. But hey, if you're going for the whole intimidating vampire lord vibe, then I suppose it fits the bill. I couldn't help but chuckle at her response, feeling a surge of confidence wash over me. Well, you know me, Death, I replied, my voice filled with mock bravado. Go big or go home, right? As I bantered with Death, a notification from the system interrupted our conversation, blinking insistently in the corner of my vision. Welcome, Alexander Cedrictus von Mortis, to the world of YGGDRASILL. Your legend begins here. I couldn't help but grin at the messages flashing before me. It was official, I was now a player in the grand game of YGGDRASILL, and the world was my oyster. Well, more like my blood-filled swamp, but you get the idea. With newfound determination coursing through my veins, I turned to Death with a gleam in my eye. Well, Death, it looks like the adventure begins, I declared, my voice filled with excitement. Time to show Helheim what the infamous Alexander Cedrictus von Mortis is made of. Death chuckled softly, her eyes gleaming with amusement. I have no doubt you'll make quite the impression, my dear, she replied, her tone tinged with pride. Just remember to stay true to yourself, and never forget the power that lies within you. Congratulations, Alexander Cedrictus von Mortis. Your official IGN on Yggdrasil has been successfully set. Congratulations, you have leveled up. Level 0 greater than level 1. Congratulations, you are now eligible to select your first job class. A comprehensive list of job classes has been generated, ranging from warrior to sorcerer. In Yggdrasil, job classes are categorized into 3 tiers, base, high, and rare. Base job classes can be leveled up to 15, high classes up to 10, and rare classes up to 5. I selected warrior as my first job class. Congratulations, you have chosen warrior as your first job class. Congratulations, you have acquired skills, slice, cut, and stab. Congratulations, you can now activate your racial abilities, blood drawn and shadow walk. You have obtained a sword of an unknown class. Now that I've gained my first job class, let's go for my first hunt, I declared with a newfound sense of determination, brandishing my sword like a seasoned warrior ready to conquer the world. Death's silent approval lingered in the air, a subtle nod of encouragement that spurred me onward. As I set out into the murky depths of Helheim, my mind buzzed with excitement and anticipation, eager to test out my newfound skills and abilities. With each step, I couldn't help but marvel at the eerie beauty of my surroundings, the twisted trees, the ominous fog, the bone-chilling silence that hung in the air like a shroud. But amidst the haunting landscape, I soon spotted my first target, a lone skeleton wandering aimlessly through the mist, its hollow eye sockets fixed on me with a gaze that seems to suck my soul out. With a confident smirk, I squared my shoulders and charged forward, ready to unleash my warrior prowess upon the unsuspecting undead. Alright, you bony bugger, let's see what you've got, I taunted, my voice echoing through the desolate swamp like a battle cry. With a swift swing of my sword, I unleashed a flurry of slashes and stabs, each strike fueled by adrenaline and determination. The skeleton, caught off guard by my ferocity, stumbled backward in a futile attempt to defend itself. But it was no match for my newfound skills, and within moments, it crumbled to dust at my feet, a victorious testament to my prowess.